The 10-year anniversary of the bankruptcy of Lehman Brothers got a lot of attention over the last month. I was wondering if you thought there were any lessons from the crisis that you want to share. And 2 points on that. You go to Congress a lot and talk to members of Congress. Now, Secretary Paulson and Mr. Geithner and Chair Bernanke have said that Congress made a mistake when it took away the Fed's emergency powers in Dodd-Frank. And then one other thing is that, are you confident that all these non-banks didn't, non-banks never got put into the, the FSOC, system? So are you confident that you can see the risks in the financial system? Thank you.
So 3 things there. First thing is the single biggest thing I think that we learned was as I mentioned, I think earlier, the importance of maintaining the stability of the financial system. So I think if you look back at the way the models worked and the way people thought about risk in the economy, that's what was missing. And I think it's not missing anymore. So we put a tremendous focus on that. We raised capital, liquidity. We have the stress tests, which force banks to understand, the largest banks particularly, to understand and better manage their risk and have enough capital to survive a really substantial shock that's at least as bad as the financial crisis. And if all that doesn't work, we've got resolution plans, which we've, through many cycles have made really substantial progress, more than I had thought was likely. So we've done a lot. Nobody's, nobody is, I think, overconfident that we've solved every problem. And, now we're going back and kind of taking a hard look at everything and, trying to keep at it. So I think those are the really important lessons. And, we were determined not to forget them. And that's, I think, a risk now is to forget things that we learned. That's just human nature over time. I saw the article you're talking about. The question is, did Congress take things away, emergency powers from the Fed? So there was sort of a trade for taking away our power under Section 13.3 to provide support to individual non-banks, which is really holding companies and other companies. In exchange for that, we got orderly liquidation authority and a resolution authority. Was it a mistake? I don't think there's any sense that Congress would seriously look at changing that. I have real doubts about whether it was wise to take away our crisis-fighting tools. I think you put them away and you hope you never need them again. But I certainly strongly oppose efforts to take away more of our tools. The third thing you mentioned is the designation power. So it's a really important power. In my mind, it should be used. My thinking, it should be used sparingly, and that means in situations where you have. I mean, in principle, you could have another Lehman Brothers come up out of the ground that's not a bank, and that could be very threatening, or could be capable of creating systemic risk. And so I think it's a critical power to have. But again, I would tend to use it fairly sparingly.